Natalie Cole Espanol, and Natalie joins us at the table. I listened to it all weekend. I have no clue what you were saying, but I really liked it. It made me want to salsa. It was very romantic. There's something called quesas. What does that mean? Perhaps. Very pretty song. My favorite was the one with your dad, but let's backtrack a little bit, because this is your first album since you had your kidney transplant. But I want people to know the story of the kidney transplant, because I think that plays a role in some odd way about this album.
Well, I don't believe in coincidences, and when I had the kidney failure, it was here in New York that it all happened.
I remember.
And I then went back to Los Angeles. My sister became ill. She was in a coma when I got the call from Cedars that they had found a kidney for me. And it just so happens that donor families don't usually get a chance to, sometimes the recipient doesn't want to meet the donor family or vice versa. The family did want to meet me, and they're from El Salvador.
But it turns out the nurse who was taking care of you.
She took care of me for one day.
One day.
At Cedars. And a week or so later, she saw me on Larry King, and she said to her niece, Jessica, "Oh, I wish I could help that lady. She was so nice." And not long after that, Jessica passed away. She had a stroke. She was 8 months pregnant. She was an organ donor. And the family, who did not know who Natalie Cole was, they agreed to
because the nurse said, "I met her. She's nice. Let's help her."
Yeah.
And so you have.
And it was a perfect match.
Somebody from El Salvador.
Yeah.
Do you feel differently? Do you find, Natalie, that you're thinking more Latin things?
I do. I find myself very attracted, even more so, to Latin culture, Latin music, Latin men. But just the whole environment now is just more, it's sharper to me,
Why do an album in Spanish?
Well, basically I said, what am I going to do next? I don't know that I want to do another jazz record.
But did you speak Spanish before?
No.
Yeah.
Neither did my dad. And
who also did an album in Spanish.
His first one was 1958. We have been around Latino people for almost all my life that I can remember. My first trip outside the U.S. was to Mexico City with my father and my family. I have a picture of me as a little senorita when I was 8 in our class.
There it is.
Yeah, it's hysterical.
Yeah.
I had Spanish friends. I took Spanish. And just through the years, I've always, just had an affinity for that culture. And I have an affinity for accents. Even though I don't speak the language fluently, somehow I'm able to enunciate, I like rolling those R's.
Yes.
What of your father do you most hope that you have?
Oh, gosh. That's a hard question, Charlie, to answer. I don't know. I think
The
just
talent is certainly there.
His fearlessness. He was a pioneer in so many ways. He would step out on faith to do something musically if he felt, and he would just take that risk. And that's kind of something that I've gotten from him, I guess.
And
he was never trendy.
And he was at a time that Sinatra and a lot of other great vocalists were
when
popular.
that Spanish record came out, he couldn't even stay in the hotel in Havana when he used to go to Cuba all the time. He couldn't even stay in the hotel.
But you sing with him again, like you did with Unforgettable. What is that like? Because the first time I heard you and your dad doing Unforgettable, the hairs literally stood up on the back of my neck. And then to hear your two voices again, what does that feel like for you, Natalie?
Well, I lost my dad at such an early age.
How old were you?
I was 15. It was 9 days after my 15th birthday.
And he was 46.
He was 47. And I never got a chance to say goodbye. And so I continue to converse and tell my dad how much I love him when I get an opportunity to sing these kinds of songs. And what a great discovery that we found footage as well of him doing Acércate Más, which is a lovely, lovely song. And 3 of the songs I recorded on this record, my dad also recorded.
How do you technically do that? Marry your father's voice with your voice?
It's easy now.
Easy.
When we did Unforgettable, it was a real challenge because back in those days, the voice was so, the artist recorded right in the same room with the orchestra, so it was difficult separating, the voice from the rest of the music and then put new music on the track. But now it's like a breeze.
I happened to be watching American Idol when Jennifer Hudson Let's go there, Natalie. Let's
you
go
would
there.
go there, Gail.
Let's go there.
My friend, yes.
Yes, let's go there. She
Okay.
was singing the song, and they were saying that it was Jennifer's song, and you immediately got on Twitter and said, "Oh no!"
Right.
I was surprised they didn't ask you to sing it. Did they ask you and you say no, or what happened
The
there?
whole thing about that situation was, they say that this young girl, the
It was
contestant
Inseparable.
Candace,
The song Inseparable.
and it was they sang the song. Each contestant had a chance to sing their song with the original creator of the tune, right? So this girl comes out to sing Inseparable, and walking down the stairs, here's Jennifer Hudson. You've got a young audience sitting there who may not know that Jennifer Hudson is not the originator of that song. So all I would ask of American Idol was to just do a little shout out, you know. By the way, this was a Natalie Cole song,
Yeah.
not a Jennifer Hudson song. And I just felt that it was very offensive and disrespectful that they didn't do that. I'm not mad at Jennifer.
No, Jennifer's
She's
great
cool.
and has a beautiful voice. That's not the
Wonderful
point.
voice.
That's not the point.
But
you were
I
making.
thought it was a little odd
Right.
that they wouldn't at least say something, because I was the only one that was not on the show with the other contestants. They got a wreath on
Okay.
satellite. They couldn't find me. I live right down the street.
Natalie has set the record straight. And are you dating a Latin man? I noticed that little
I'm
thing.
on
where you
my
said-
way. I'm on my way. I can't wait to get to South America.
Okay. Does he have a brother?
Yes,
Natalie,
we'll
good
talk.
to see you.
We'll talk.
Yes, good to see you,
Good to
Natalie.
see you.
Congratulations.
Thank you
it's
very
really,
much.
really good.
Congratulations,
Really good.
Natalie Cole. Thank you so much.